embracing divine purpose amid pain. Life is full of moments where we encounter pain. Pain that shakes us to our core, pain that makes us question everything, pain that seems impossible to overcome. Whether it's the loss of something dear, a setback in our dreams, or the overwhelming weight of challenges that just don't seem to let up, it's easy to feel lost in the midst of it all. But here's the truth. Pain doesn't have to define you. It can refine you. Through the power of God, your pain can become the very catalyst for the purpose He has designed for you. Today, I want to talk to you about embracing divine purpose amid pain. You may not see it now, but the challenges you're facing are not obstacles to your future. They are opportunities for growth. I want to take you through a powerful story from Scripture, the story of Joseph, and show you how God can use pain as a stepping stone to greatness. Just like Joseph, your struggles can be the very things that lead you to the destiny God has planned for you. Joseph's journey from slavery to leadership. Joseph's story is one of the most inspiring examples of how God can turn pain into purpose. Let's quickly recount his journey. Joseph was the beloved son of his father Jacob, and his life seemed to be on a good path. He had dreams of greatness, but his brothers, fueled by jealousy, sold him into slavery. From there, his life took a series of painful, discouraging twists. He was falsely accused of a crime and thrown into prison. For years, Joseph faced betrayal, isolation, and hopelessness. Yet through it all, God had a divine purpose for him. Imagine being Joseph, young, hopeful, and full of potential, only to have everything stripped away. You're betrayed by those you trust most, and you find yourself in a foreign land, in chains, uncertain of the future. The natural response might be to give up, to become bitter or resentful. But Joseph's response was different. He chose to trust God in the midst of his pain. He chose to believe that even though he couldn't see the big picture, God was still at work. It wasn't until years later that Joseph's dreams, the ones he'd had as a young man, came to fruition. Through a series of incredible circumstances, Joseph rose from slavery to become second in command of all of Egypt, the most powerful nation of his time. What began as a painful journey of rejection, hardship, and loneliness turned into a life that not only brought him greatness, but also saved the lives of many others. Joseph's pain became his purpose, and it can happen for you too. Pain as a catalyst for growth. The key to understanding Joseph's journey and how it can relate to your own is recognizing that pain doesn't have to be wasted. Too often, we see pain as something to avoid or escape. But what if instead we viewed our struggles as a doorway to something greater? What if the very things that feel like setbacks are actually setups for your comeback? In Romans 8 verse 28, we are reminded, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who have been called according to his purpose. This verse is a promise. God is working in every situation, no matter how painful, for the good of those who love him. Even in the worst moments of our lives, God is using those experiences to shape us, strengthen us, and prepare us for the future he has for us. Think about the process of refining gold. To purify gold, it must be heated to incredibly high temperatures, causing the impurities to rise to the surface. The goldsmith then removes those impurities, leaving behind a pure, valuable substance. Pain has a similar effect on us. It heats us up, challenges us, and brings the hidden parts of our hearts to the surface. Our fears, our insecurities, our doubts. But through that process, God is refining us, making us stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for the future He has in store. Joseph's life is a testament to the truth that pain doesn't have to defeat you. It can refine you. It can push you to places of growth you never thought possible. And even if you can't see it in the moment, God is using that pain to mold you into the person He has called you to be. Trusting God's timing and purpose. A critical lesson we can learn from Joseph is the importance of trusting God's timing. Joseph's journey was long. He didn't wake up one day and find himself in a position of power. It took years of waiting, of enduring hardship, and of trusting that God had a plan. It's easy to get discouraged when the breakthrough doesn't come as quickly as we want. But we must remember that God's timing is always perfect. In Ecclesiastes 3 verse 11 we read, "He has made everything beautiful in its time." Notice that it says in its time. There's a time for everything, and sometimes that timing doesn't align with our own. But we can trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating every detail, preparing us for what's next. Think about a seed planted in the ground. It doesn't sprout overnight. It takes time to grow, to push through the soil, to reach the surface. And once it does, it doesn't stop growing. It flourishes. Your pain, the struggles you're facing today, are just part of the process. They are the soil in which your purpose is being cultivated. Trust the process, trust the timing, and know that God is faithful to bring about His plan in your life. The power of perspective. A shift in perspective can change everything. Joseph's journey wasn't easy, but he chose to view his circumstances through a lens of faith, not fear. When he was in prison, when he was falsely accused, when he was betrayed by his brothers, he chose to trust God's purpose over his pain. That's a powerful choice. We don't always have control over what happens to us, but we do have control over how we respond. Will we allow pain to make us bitter, or will we allow it to make us better? The choice is ours. Joseph chose forgiveness over bitterness, trust over doubt, and faith over fear. And because of that, he was able to fulfill the purpose God had for him. He didn't allow his pain to define his future. He allowed God to use that pain to prepare him for the incredible purpose ahead. You might be going through a painful season right now, but let me encourage you with this. Your pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a greater purpose. God is at work in your life, even when it feels like nothing is happening. He's refining you, strengthening you, and preparing you for something incredible, embracing your divine purpose. So, how do you embrace divine purpose amid pain? First, trust that God is with you in every moment. He is not distant or unaware of your struggles. He is right there with you, guiding you, comforting you, and leading you through. Second, trust that your pain is not in vain. It has purpose. It is shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for the future. And finally, choose to view your pain through a lens of faith. Ask God to show you what He's teaching you through this season, and know that He is using it for your good. Just like Joseph, you have a divine purpose. Your pain will not defeat you. Instead, It will propel you into the destiny that God has for you. Keep going. Keep trusting. Keep believing. God is at work, and He is turning your pain into purpose. As you walk through your own journey, remember that God has a divine purpose for your life. Your pain is not wasted. It is part of the process of shaping you into the person He has called you to be. Trust His timing, trust His plan, and trust that the best is yet to come. Embrace your pain, because through it, God is preparing you for something greater than you could ever imagine. Take heart today. The pain you're feeling is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of your purpose. And with God by your side, you will emerge stronger, wiser, and ready for the future He has in store.